For those of you who are here, I'm going to talk about the benefits of castor oil. Okay. Now, this innocuous little oil, which you probably know your grandmother would have given to you when you had a kind of a couldn't make motion and things like that, have a tough time going to the toilet. But there are a lot more benefits, so stay tuned for this. Like I said, the first thing is digestion. Okay. It's fantastic for bowel movements, and it helps a fast passage of food in the intestine. Okay. Now, grandma's recipe for constipation is a spoon of castor oil, and probably they'll put a little bit of sugar on it. So a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, as they say. And then after that is all nuclear after that, right? Because especially when you're young, it's a kind of a shock for the system, and whatever was stuck just comes flying out like torpedoes. So, but don't worry, as you get older, you develop a certain amount of tolerance, and you don't have to have those full large teaspoons. You can just have a little bit. It definitely helps clean out the intestine because there may be some blocked toxins. So this will kind of like loosen it out. And so there are toxins that do get stuck in our intestine, and it's a good habit, maybe once in 3 months, to kind of just take a small dose of castor oil. So removing the trapped toxins from your system is a very essential thing, but it also improves your gut bacteria because a lot of the junk starts to get cleaned off. There's a much better environment for the good bacteria to breed. And so therefore it does help your gut health. It gives a nice cozy environment for it. So number one is digestion. Okay. Now, a lot of people have taken to medication because they can't get sleep. And insomnia is a problem that has affected many people, and it's affecting many people as the days go by for various reasons. And it has a lot to do with your body vitality and how your metabolism works and what are the nutrients that are there in your system. But anxiety can be something that can also cause sleeplessness. You may be really anxious about your work. You might be in a very critical time in your business and things like that. So you definitely will get some signs of sleeplessness. So just a drop on your upper eyelids. Okay, make sure it doesn't go into eyeball. It's just be a little careful. It's very thick and viscous, so just a tiny drop on your eyelids can help soothe your eyes, and you can probably get a slightly better sleep. Or what you can do is you can mix this oil with lavender oil or rose oil. You can either put it in a lamp and let the fumes go around the room. Lavender helps you get a lot of sleep. Or you can rub it on your temples. Okay. So it gives a kind of a soothing, relaxing effect, calms the nerves a bit, and definitely is probably a much better way of handling insomnia than taking drugs, because there's a lot of other unwanted side effects that you might get from it. Okay. Now, here's a very interesting thing. Joint health. Okay. Now, castor oil has very good properties to reduce inflammation in the joints. Okay. And it helps the blood circulate in the joints because it penetrates, it gets into the muscle and ligaments, and it therefore starts to improve the circulation. And when the circulation improves, even your inflammation starts to reduce. Okay. And there's also the question of any trapped toxins might also start to get released because there is more circulation. Okay. So you give your body the chance to kind of improve. So if you have any kind of joint pain, just hammer out a drop of castor oil and do a kind of a long massage on it. And it's good to probably heat the oil a little bit. Don't use a microwave. Try and put it probably under a very tiny flame on your stove, or put it in a pot of boiling water, so that it kind of gets a little more the viscosity comes down, so you can rub it in. So it's good to kind of heat up these oils. And this is something that you can just start, especially knees and ankles, and sometimes parts of your back you might have issues. So it's a good thing to actually help putting this. It can help reduce a lot of stiffness and problems that you have with your joints. Oh, it's a good one, right? Now, another thing is dry skin. Okay. So a big problem, a lot of people is when we have very dry climate, skin, a lot of people's skin gets affected, and you tend to use a lot of these creams and moisturizers. And what I'd say is, though they do work, but they do have a lot of unwanted chemicals in it because they have to preserve it and they have to emulsify it, and they've got to make it smell pleasant and all that stuff, because it's a consumer product and everyone wants to smell better, look better, and everything. So, so there is a particular component in this particular oil. It's called ricinoleic acid, and it is extremely good for actually help healing the skin and penetrating the skin. So it's a very important acid that helps retain the moisture in your skin. So it's a good thing, and they actually put this same the same item into the creams itself. So why not just take the direct source of it and use it? It's definitely something that's going to really help improve your dry skin. Okay. Now, it's extremely good for the hair and scalp. Okay, it definitely makes your hair have a much better luster. Okay, and it helps what hair you have existing. It helps it get a little thicker. Now, it's also used to grow back your hair. Okay, typically you will add a couple of other oils to this so that you get kind of a potency of it. And what typically they add is rosemary oil and pumpkin seed oil. It's something that you can add to this and massage it into your scalp. Now, good practice is to do this at night and put a kind of a plastic cap, one of the shower caps on your head so it doesn't come on the pillow, and let it go soak overnight, and wash your hair, shampoo your hair the next morning, and you'll find that after your hair dries up, you'll find that there is a certain difference in the luster of your hair, and not only the luster, but you'll find that your scalp seems to be a lot more healthier. Now, it also an effective means against dandruff, okay, because it has antifungal properties as well. So, combining all of this, it kind of gives a certain amount of penetration into the scalp so that the roots have a chance not to grow. And if there's any kind of fungal infection that's interfering, or if your scalp is too hard, this is something that will actually supple it down and give you a kind of a better hair growth. Now, this is something that doesn't happen overnight, and you can't do this every day. You'll have to probably do it once in 3 or 4 days, and it may take a couple of months to see a drastic change in your scalp. Your hair definitely will start to luster almost immediately, and the thickness of your hair again will take those cycles. Okay, so there is a cycle for the hair because each hair follicle has a certain lifetime. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what the lifetime is. It's 3 or 6 weeks or 3 months. I think it's 3 months, where your entire hair follicle, kind of the whole thing actually changes, and the dead hair goes and the new hair comes and stuff like that. So you've got to always go through one cycle for you to actually see if there's any difference. And that's typically, that cycle is about 3 months. So a lot of people who try to do this treatments for the hair to get the hair back, they expect results within days, and it doesn't happen because there is just a natural cycle for the hair, and you'd have to wait for the next cycle. And when people start a lot of these treatments, what happens is they start losing hair. Now, don't panic, because what really happens is that hair follicle that's really lost its energy and it's really on its last legs will just fall, because the body wants to promote a stronger and a better hair follicle. So a lot of people get immediately worried and say, "Oh my God, all the hair has fallen, and this is worse. It's become worse." No, so don't panic. You definitely, in some kinds of treatments like this, you will lose a little bit of hair in the beginning. It'll just naturally follow, especially the ones which are not strong enough. Okay. So, like I said, it combats fungal infections, and something very effective against fungal infections, the toenails or the nails. It sometimes can happen on your fingers too. So it retards the fungal growth. Okay, and it also helps in the curing, because again, like I said, it's anti-inflammatory, and it also prevents the dryness that occurs with a lot of fungal infections. It kind of robs the skin of a lot of nutrients because it kind of eats up every kind of nutrient out there. So it helps even heal if there is any infected skin. And typically, if you have something like athlete's foot, this is something that's really, really effective against, removing that scaliness that is there. So now that you know about this innocuous little castor oil, uh, my advice is to go and find a very good quality one. Okay, and you don't need much. Even if you buy 100 ml, is fantastic, because in most cases you need a couple of drops, and those drops are a lot of drops in it. And if you're going to dilute it with the carrier oil, sometimes you can dilute it with coconut oil. You can even dilute it with rice bran oil. Some people even do that. You can add other oils to it, depending on what your application is, whether it's for insomnia, or whether it's for hair growth, or whether it's for anything else. Uh, so you can easily afford to get one of these things. Buy a small amount, but buy a very high quality one. Buy something that has a very known purity, something that's not been refined. It's been physically refined and not chemically refined. So you have to do a little research. You'll definitely. I don't want to suggest any particular brand now, but you can go and look at it. You'll find there are a lot of resources for you to find it. And if you know somebody who actually makes the castor oil, has a farm or has something, you can actually directly ask them as soon as you get it pressed, give it to me. So many ways to do that. So I really hope you did find this topic interesting. And like I said, the last laugh is for all the people who are following the dynamic vitality model, because each week and each day, uh, there's something that you got to learn, and there's something that's always going to affect your life for the better. So thanks for watching. And I leave the floor open for any questions or any comments.